All right, we're going to call to order June 14th meeting of the Grandview Heights Board of Zoning Appeals. If you join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, call roll.
Calnell?
Here.
La Sousa?
Here.
Donospi, sorry, excused. Chair Kinzinger?
Here.
Director Mazzara?
Here.
Director Kelker is excused.
Okay, so, let's see. I don't know if, I don't think we can vote on the meeting, on the minutes, right? Because
You technically can,
member Lasusa was not here.
correct, but you can still vote on them since you have three. Or you can
Yeah, but
choose.
he would,
Yeah, we've had that in the past where we've had old minutes that someone, after someone left, it was in between exchange of finishing up the term. Now, with that being said, there's nothing wrong with waiting until June or July.
Yeah, why don't we put those off to the next?
That's okay, yeah, whenever he's here.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. Okay, so if you are going to speak today, or you think there's any chance you might speak, I need you to stand and we will administer the oath. You will raise your right hand, repeat after me. I swear to tell the truth,
I
Swear to tell the truth,
the whole truth.
the whole truth,
Thank you.
All right.
nothing but the truth.
That works too. All right, any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
All right, that takes us right into our first case, BZA case 09-2023, 1176 Grandview Avenue, applicant Melissa DeGraw, owner Melissa DeGraw. Why don't you step up and tell us what we're looking at?
Okay, this is builder John. So,
Okay.
I have the
John,
property. Sorry.
just for the record, can you use your last name?
John Douglas.
So I have the property 1176 Grandview Avenue, right on the corner of Grandview and First. I have a pre-existing fence there. Depending on what side you're looking at, one side is 6 foot, one side is 5 foot. It is on the corner lot against the alley. What was submitted in 1998 was not what they put in. They submitted a 4-foot 4-inch fence with the lattice top and the retaining wall. That's not what they put in. They put in the fence that you guys see pictures of there. So I am just asking to replace the existing fence with exactly what is there now. As you can see, it is old, it is leaning, it is falling. So I just wanted to, I need to replace it, just so for the safety of everyone, since it is on a main street and an eyesore. And as you can see, the fence is not right on the sidewalk. It is in quite a bit and on a hill. And then when we replace it, we'll probably be bringing in a little bit more because it is on the hill towards the inside of the yard. So it'd be even further away from the sidewalk.
Where is it 5 feet and where is it 6 feet?
Along First Avenue, that's the 5 foot, but along the side in between my neighbors and myself, it is a 6 foot.
And
that was there before I moved there.
what you're proposing to replace it with is the same height as what's there now?
There's a 5 foot in there. That's what I'd like to have, a 5 foot.
Even between the neighbors?
Down the neighbor side too?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you guys will say yes to. That's what people do. Neighbors don't care as long as there's a privacy fence there that you can't really see over, so.
Let's go to staff report.
So, this was tabled from the last
Yeah.
meeting, as I recall, so it's, in the staff report, Liz has a solid wood dog-eared 6-foot fence is proposed, so it's not a 6 foot, it's a 5 foot, correct?
That's what was proposed, and the people that were here said we will not approve that.
Okay.
So then,
So then we adjusted.
Okay. So it is set in from the alley and the sidewalk. And the existing sightlines appear to be adequate and similar. The comment is with the prominent location and it being set up on a hill, that a lower fence with some additional design detail may be preferred. Recommending approval, subject to the maximum height of the new fence and other design details as determined by the board.
Okay, so we'll open it up to board questions, comments?
So in the staff report, was this written from the perspective that it was 5 foot or from 6 foot?
Well, you know, the original approval from BZA was 4'4", and of course we know it wasn't built to that
Right.
height. I believe Liz did not, would prefer it not to be 6 feet because of the prominence of it on the hill. I think she's comfortable with up to you, but she would prefer not a 6 foot fence. And with it being dog eared as opposed to what's there, where it's a flat 2-top.
Yeah, we want to replace it with exactly what the picture showed.
Oh, okay, so.
Yeah, the 6 foot dog ear that went by last month.
Okay. Yeah, so what we have is the picture of a dog.
Right.
So
Okay.
can you just give us a full explanation of what exactly it is that you're proposing?
have you guys seen it? Did you guys go by the fence?
Yes, but can you just tell us specifically, like, what height, what is the picture, or what exactly it is that you're proposing?
I can do it.
Go right ahead, girl.
So the fence right now is 5 foot on the First Avenue side. It is flat top with posts that have caps on it. That would go all along First Avenue into the alley. There's a gate there. And then on the other side, coming towards, in between the houses, towards my neighbors, there is another fence. Currently it's 6 foot. You guys don't like the 6 foot, it's 5 foot. And then there's another gate on that side of the fence as well. And it's a
Okay.
flat top fence.
So it would be exactly like
Yes.
that?
Yes,
That's-
absolutely, except pretty.
This is cut, it does fold down. I don't think you guys care about that. It's just, it's really cool little, but that's why it looks like.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, I believe that between the houses, I mean,
Yeah.
there would be no issue.
That can be
Yes, if
6
you wanted
feet?
to put
Right.
6 feet between
Okay.
the houses, you can do that.
I prefer that because then it's less cutting and less into the fence, so. If 6 foot is allowed, the 6 foot would be
In
along
between,
that
in
side.
between the
It would
properties.
be only
It
allowed.
would be 5 feet along the whole First Avenue side and then into the alley.
Right.
Typically, well, a 6 foot fence is the maximum height. We do let the post, if they want to put a cap on it, we usually
Let it be
go up.
proud a little bit.
Yeah, we let it stick up a little bit with a cap, so a couple inches, so typically we wouldn't, if that was a 6 foot fence, we wouldn't allow the post to stick up that high.
So
Okay.
you want the cap to be like right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we give you a little leeway.
Yeah, but that actual is 5 foot right there.
Yeah, that's gonna be the 5 foot.
Yeah.
Stuff.
That's what it's standing at, 5 foot.
To the top of the fence, but the
To the
post
top of the
is-
2-4, and then
Yeah.
the post sticks up a little bit.
Right.
And then so the fence as it currently is, has some space in between the boards. Would you maintain the space in between the boards, or
Well-
would you run them right up against each other?
Both. At first, they would be right up against each other, and within a year, they're gonna shrink a 1/4 inch each, so there will be spacing in there.
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I understand and don't get anything confused. So the 6 foot is it between you and your neighbor or in the alley?
Between my neighbor and my house.
Okay, got it, cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
That back section on the alley would be the 5 foot.
5 foot,
Correct.
Okay.
because that's the part that connects off of First.
It terminates into the garage.
Mhm. There's a gate there.
Have you discussed at all if we're doing anything a little bit more decorative, given the prominence of this location?
No, because this is what I've always had, and it is nice to have that privacy, because you would not believe how many people, like, long neck and, I mean, my neighbors across the street have zero privacy. They put in some other type of a fence, and it's just, you're just completely just exposed. And even though it's not decorative, I will say that a lot of people like it because they know it folds down. I know it doesn't sound as decorative, but people do like the fence. And when I went around and got the signatures, people kept asking, are you gonna still have it fold down? I said, yeah.
So really, like, safe to say, what we're talking about is, because we're talking about the 6 foot with your neighbors and the rest being 5 foot, we're really talking about replacing the existing with exactly the same thing.
Yes.
Both in height and in
Yes.
kind of construction.
If they would have put what they said, this in 1998 with what they submitted, I wouldn't have to be here. But they put in this instead of what they submitted.
Right. You might still have.
Maybe, well, yeah.
Fences
maybe.
on the corner lot.
Maybe, I
Something
don't know.
happens.
Well, I'm just, yeah.
Yeah.
You might.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that it is significantly far away from the sidewalk. We have dealt with a lot of side yard fences, where people want to put them a lot closer to the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And then we get into questions of what's a reasonable height, and what's a reasonable opacity of them. I'm inclined to be in favor of this, because it really is.
I would be inclined to be in favor of it, but I would like to see the gap in between the boards a little bit bigger, so that it has
So it feels a little more open?
a little bit more open, and I think you'll still get your privacy. Like, no, I'm not saying space them apart really far,
Okay.
but just a little bit further apart. So that, especially since this is a corner that you see coming down Grandview Avenue. But that being said, it is a corner that you see going down Grandview Avenue, so I understand your privacy concerns.
What would be a little bit further apart? Like installed at like a half inch apart?
Yeah.
And then they go to like an inch. And then boards. Or, trying to think.
Yeah. Or like install it a 1/4 inch and curve it like 3/4. I think it's just nice to have a little bit of light coming through that. I think you still won't be able to see through it at all.
Yeah. Well, unless someone climbs up the hill, puts their face up.
You'd be surprised.
agree could be nice. I feel okay about it either way, but, yeah, I think the spacing adds a little bit more light around the corner, that is true, that does aesthetically appear a little better. Appreciate you putting the photos and everything, that's helpful to see that it's basically being replaced the exact same, so, if that's, yeah, that's the way the board feels, we can add that in, but I don't have any other questions.
Do we have to have like a fully accurate plan in here for documentation of exactly where it currently is? Since it's not the same as it was.
And I'm not sure, how we got the dog ear look, as opposed.
That should have been thrown away after last month when we failed.
But I think that you can, I believe you can specify that it must.
Or mainly
Well, if we
same
say,
location.
yeah, if we say same location or farther from the sidewalk, when it comes to an inspection, will that be sufficient, or is someone gonna need a dimension or a drawing?
What I would probably do is, take, attach a photo of what it looks like now, and say that it, you know, we could put that specification in the permit that we issue, as per, your approval.
So if we just, if we approve it that way, if we say current location or farther from the sidewalk, that,
So-
We'd wanna know how far from the sidewalk, so that.
Right now, it's about 6 feet, because I took the pictures, and I took some more pictures, but I really didn't.
yeah, I guess that's the
I didn't
question.
submit
Yeah, we
that.
wanna know, we want like that plan with the dimension off the property line.
Of the existing,
Yeah. Well, no, of the new,
of the new,
of it, where the new fence is gonna
You,
go.
but
Because
we, I
we
don't know if
would
it's-
measure, like, at the footing inspection, because we do a footing inspection prior to placing posting, we would verify, property line distance.
So you want me to get a new
Yeah, you can just do a new site plan with.
site plan and
yeah.
show you where
Yeah, and
our proposed will be?
yeah, and then really, since the fence between you and your neighbor is acceptable, that wouldn't be part of.
That's not
this
an issue.
decision. It's just.
It's just the alley and the
Correct.
first.
Mhm.
And I don't know if this is more to your specific question, but when you condition or when you motion for approval, you'll want to condition that the, different wording, but the fence on the corner lot be at minimum 6, because according to this mortgage survey, the fence off First Avenue, off the sidewalk is 6 feet. So you would just condition that at minimum, the fence is placed 6 foot off the sidewalk or further in, or
Greater. 6 foot
greater.
or greater off the sidewalk.
however you wanna. But if you wanna give certain dimensions of what you want of a minimum, anything greater would be better.
I guess I would ask you guys, are you comfortable with us saying 6 feet or more? We don't have an exact dimension right now, but
Right.
that's,
Right.
seems like that's, you've got a better feel for really what that
Yes,
distance
I
is.
believe it's 6 foot now. And I've spoke with Melissa, and she would like it to come in a little bit.
Since it's right on the edge of the hill, the
Yeah.
hill's just gonna continue to erode.
Yeah, the
so-
hill's gonna keep moving, so we're trying to get ahead of that.
Sure. Mr. Janowski?
So, you up to speed now?
Yeah. That's 5 foot towards the pictures, that's 6 foot, the other section,
Yep.
and the back alley is 6 foot.
No, back alley's.
Back alley's 5.
That part is
It's-
5.
it's-
That little
It's
here.
just this, it's 5. This is the neighbor.
Yeah.
So this was for, this is for.
That's 5.
Yeah.
And this is 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Traffic.
does the applicant have any thoughts on that idea of installing it with a bit of a gap in there now?
I would prefer not, but if that's what you guys are gonna approve, then that's what I gotta do. So that's, if I'm being honest, but
Yeah, absolutely. Not your first choice, but you could live with it.
What's the standard gap? Well, it said they're gonna install it with no gap, but then it'll shrink.
Yeah.
To about, it'll become about a half-inch gap. Eventually.
Yes, eventually, within a year. What gap's there now? You know? Well,
there's a picture in there.
Yeah, half, three quarters, somewhere in that range. I guess. Yeah, probably about half now.
I don't know if it also like helps with the like grass not burning through it too, so.
You know, some of the particular kind of assets like, or to require. Yeah, yeah, it's one good. We're ready for motion?
I make a motion to approve BZA case 09-2023, 1176 Grandview Avenue, for a variance from the Grandview Heights Planning and Zoning Code, section 1155-15A, to allow construction of a fence greater than 30% solid and more than 42 inches in height above the established street or alley grade within the corner area of the lot that is included between the lines of two intersecting streets, alleys, or a street and alley and a straight line connecting those 2 points at 25 feet. For a variance from Planning and Zoning Code 1155-15C to allow the construction of a fence in the rear yard that is adjacent to the front yard.
I mean, it's the house that's on the other side of the alley, is that the house in front of it?
I guess so, okay. That is adjacent to the front yard of a neighboring lot. And for a variance from section 1155-15D to allow the construction of a fence in the rear or side yard adjacent to the street or alley of a corner lot, with the conditions that the new fence be placed in the existing location or farther away from the sidewalk, anticipating that the First Avenue side will be 6 foot away from the property line or greater, and that with the condition that the fence along the alley and First Avenue remain at 5 feet tall, and the neighboring fence remain at 6 feet tall.
A second?
Okay, Zanowski,
yes.
Kano,
Yes.
Wasusa,
Yes.
Chair Kizinger.
Yes.
Good.
Thanks.
Cool. Thank you guys.
Good.
Are we done?
Yeah, so you're done.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Is it okay if I go, my son has a baseball game?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay. That brings us to the second case, BZA case 10-2023, 1114 Virginia Avenue, applicant Chris Truthman and Teresa Fitzgerald. owner, Chris Toothman and Teresa Fitzgerald. Why don't you identify yourself and tell us what we're looking at here?
Hi, I'm Chris Toothman. My wife and I own 1114 Virginia Avenue. And what you're looking at is us adding on to the property, kind of connecting the garage, moving it up, making the garage a little bit bigger, meaning depth-wise, basically keeping it the same width, and then connecting it to the house. A couple reasons. One, we want to add a bigger backyard to it. So right now we have a decent side yard, front yard. Isn't important to us. All four of our children are grown out of the house, all grew up here in Grandview, but when we go to sell it, I think it's important for people who want to have a backyard for their kids to play in. So that's one of the reasons. Second one is to put a bathroom on the first floor, which we all know is notoriously tough in Grandview to not have a bathroom anywhere other than the second floor. So that'd be one of the reasons there also. Primarily that's about it. So just looking to kind of do this aesthetically, keep it up with the exact look of the house. It'll be a brick first floor all the way around to match the existing house. Brick will be matching as close as possible. The second floor will be the cedar, just like we have on the existing first house there. We'll match the window color. I think we have probably some of the elevations and drawings there for you that my architect has put together. He wasn't able to make it today, he's out of town.
All right, thanks. Staff report?
Okay, so this lot is unique, of course, it's the Rodeo corner lot. So the effective rear yard is 21, the effective rear yard is 105 feet, so you have to be 20%, required 20% rear yard setback, which is 21 feet, which is why they need the variance. With the attached addition that they're talking about doing, lot coverage is still only 28%, maximum 40 is allowed. The rear yard abuts the side yard of a home to the east along Parkway, where typically the side yard would be 6 feet, and where the addition is going to happen, the drive will be 10'2" off the property line, so farther than what would be allowed if it was detached. And the proposed design matches the existing home respectively. It does, of course, reduce the rear yard setback requirement to accommodate the 2-car garage that's required. So it appears to align with the design guidelines and the aesthetic review zoning requirements. So recommend approval to reduce the minimum yard setback to 10'2". Given the practical difficulty with the lot and the way it's placed.
All right. Open it up for board questions, comments.
I think overall, this is a difficult lot, and I think that the proposed addition is definitely an improvement of use of the space. And I appreciate the attention to detail, making the addition similar, but also really trying to utilize the space that we have. And it's a really difficult lot.
It's a unique one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Our next door neighbors right next to us are in the same boat. They're like, actually, it's a little bit smaller size. It's a high unit, pretty oddly shaped also.
Does it look like, is it going to maintain the same curb cut, or is that a different curb cut, like where it enters the street?
It'll probably, that's a good question. I think it's gonna, they told us that we could only go back so far. We were planning to have a double one all the way down, because we couldn't do that. We could have to only come out so far with a double garage, and then we'd have to go back to a single one, but I don't remember, I think it's going back to the same curb cut, and we're gonna dig up the driveway though and replace it with all new cement.
That's what we understood, was the curb cut was gonna remain, the existing curb cut was gonna remain.
It is listed in the staff report, so it is in there. Thanks.
Yeah, I tend to agree that it's an awkward lot, and I think it's a good solution. I think, if we're saying that because it's an attached garage, now it gets treated as part of the main structure instead of as a garage. So we're really looking at everything's going to be farther from the property lines than the current garage is. It just falls under different rules because it's attached. But I think that is a noteworthy factor of this design, is that everything's going to be farther from the property line.
I think you make great use of the space, and it looks like a great design, and it makes sense. I appreciate, still a lot of green space. I think still a great lot, the way that you have to utilize it, so looks like it's gonna be a great place.
To give my architect all the shout out for that, he did a great job.
Yeah, do we know, what part of this is by definition the rear yard? Is it?
It is, since it's addressed.
It's addressed on Virginia.
That's.
So it's-
Yeah, so that,
And because the garage is attached, that's part of the main structure. So the rear lot is just what's behind the main structure.
correct.
Right, so it's really. No. This is ridiculous.
To be compared.
It's really, yeah, it's from here. Forward. Well, the rear yard isn't, the rear yard has 0% coverage, right? There's nothing in it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But that's why we're doing a variance for this, because this is considered a rear lot line. We have to do that.
Right, so you're
Setback.
talking about the maximum 45% rear yard curb cut.
Right.
Because it's attached,
It doesn't, yeah,
Yeah.
it's 100% open.
It does seem strange on the surface
I mean, it makes sense.
that there aren't more variances here,
Yeah.
because it is
Mhm.
a unique lot
right, it is.
with a unique solution. But yeah, I can't see any others.
I think so, I think it's a really good utilization of the space.
Would you like to?
I'll make a motion to approve BZA case 10-2023-1114 Virginia Avenue. For part A, the applicant is requesting a variance from Grandview Heights Planning and Zoning Code Section 1155.02 C2C to reduce the required rear yard of 20% of the deck lot in order to construct a new two-story attached garage addition to the rear of the existing home, set back approximately 10 foot 2 inches from the rear property line for this irregularly shaped lot.
Second.
Okay, Susa?
Yes.
Zinosky?
Yes.
Hillman?
Yes.
Chair Kimminger?
Yes,
You're approved?
thank you.
Thank you.
Do I need to bring your sign back down? Do you guys?
I'll grab that tomorrow.
Oh,
Yeah. Stuff I can do tomorrow.
You don't want to keep it there for long.
when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I was out of town, my wife was out of town, did she put our house up for sale? Then I got closer and recognized what it was.
No, I'll grab that first thing in the morning.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That's me all.
All right, since members are not here, let's go back and vote on the April minutes. Since now we have 3 of us here who were, assuming that, are you comfortable voting on, you reviewed them, enough to vote on them? Okay.
I'll take a motion.
I move to approve the April 12th, 2023 Board of Zoning Appeal minutes.
A second.
All in favor say aye. Those not in favor say nay.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, any other business? Or staff communications?
No other business or no staff communications. There will, actually, yes, so, Teach Van Massacres has been appointed by council to be the 5th member to serve Gottsman's, or Andy Gottsman's position. So he'll be here next month. Tice, thank you, Tice.
Okay.
Yep, so he'll be here for the next meeting. And we'll have 4 to 5.
Very good.
When someone takes over a term, they finish that
They
term.
finished that term,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. And he was a previous member.
Okay.
Yep. And was there?
I will, what day is the next meeting? I'm so sorry.
It is,
I won't be at that one. The July meeting.
July 12th.
Yeah, I won't be at that.
Okay. I'll take your note for that.
I'll be in Hawaii.
You don't want to call it?
Okay, that's the only communication.
All right.
See you next month.
Meeting adjourned.